Picture right now. I have an ice pack strapped just above my crotch.
Nice.
My boobs are
They're exploding.
rock solid.
I think your boobs are bigger than your butt at this point.
Undoubtedly. And I don't even know what I was
Is that painful? Is that painful at all?
Extremely painful.
Okay.
We'll get into that.
Great.
And we're both exhausted, but I mean, honestly, we're at the point where every day is dramatically better than the one before it.
Yeah. I was up till 4 a.m. last night, but surprisingly, it was our best night yet. So.
And we have done everything we can to sneak away from our family just to get here.
Yeah.
For 1 hour, we're going to give you what we've got. Okay, let's get into it.
Let's get started. So the day of the C-section.
I want to start back a little bit.
Oh, where are we starting?
We're going to start back at Griffin's birth.
Griffin had shoulder dystocia. Is that?
Yeah, so Griffin's shoulders got stuck in the delivery, which is why it was, presented as an option to do a scheduled C-section this time around, which we took, and they were completely different experiences.
Totally different.
Skipping labor is the wildest thing.
That is weird.
Because it's like you just bypassed that like extremely intense experience, and I'm kid you not. Okay, let's go to the day of the surgery.
How were you feeling that day? The morning of the surgery, how did you feel?
So the morning I woke up, I was insanely calm. Like, I did feel like I wanted to be alone to just kind of like, get into a good headspace and relax.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like it's a good time to just kind of like gather your thoughts and just like evaluate, how am I feeling right now? I felt great. Like there was a time in the night where I slept good, except I did wake up at like 3:30, and I was just like, it was like Christmas morning. I'm like, something big is happening. And like, we were about to meet a new member of our family, and we knew that it was happening. It's like with our induction, we were kind of just waiting to get a call to say that there was a bed available. And so we didn't know, but like to go to bed that night knowing the next day we were going to meet our baby was the most insane. I say Christmas morning, but that doesn't even do it justice. Like, it's like we're about to meet the person that we're going to have in our lives.
I think it kind of snuck up on me. I felt like I was running around like a chicken with its head cut off. I was just trying to get many things done as possible before the birth, and I just saw time ticking away, and I was like, crap, I need to do this, and long story short, I did not get all the things done that I wanted to get done, but that's okay. And that was still
like with knowing when it was happening.
I know. That was the weirdest thing too, knowing the day, knowing the time, the location, everything. That was so weird because with the first birth, we had no idea. I mean, we did know the hospital we were going to, but there were so many unknowns, and this time it was all scheduled, and that was really weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was weird, but it was also extremely nice. Like, it was very handy. Like, I knew, when the end was coming, and I knew what to do. Like, I was ready. I was showered. I would say I was well fed, but I wasn't, because they recommended that I be fasted. So I hadn't eaten for like 12 hours before. Yeah. So, basically the night before is when I just I stopped eating once I went to bed that night.
And I had the sporadic decision the morning of to show you the song that I wrote for our son, which I was like, do I show it to her now? Because then she can listen to it at the hospital and during the recovery. And I was like, you know what? Abbie deserves to know the song.
I was so hesitant to let Matt play this song for me because I was already feeling like, okay, I want to be as strong mentally as I can going into this, and I feel like this song could break my heart in a good way, but I was like, I just can't have it broken right now because it's about to break anyway. But no, it was such a good song. We've been listening to it so much.
Thank you.
It's been literally in my head. Like, I love this song. Wait, have they heard it yet?
I don't know. I think at the time of this podcast being out, I'm sure that the song's already out. We could probably just put a link in the description of the episode.
Oh my gosh.
People want to listen to it.
It's the sweetest thing ever. And I feel like so many people will be able to relate to this and just, I don't know, see their own family in this experience.
It was fun writing it because I was thinking about memories with my dad and how we used to go watch Little League baseball games and get ice cream on Friday nights together, and just had so many fun memories of us spending quality time. And I'm like, what are the things I want to do with my son that are going to be our special things? And so it was really fun playing that song for you. I'm glad you liked it. So
thank you for sharing it with us.
Of course.
I'm glad that you made this one public and I didn't have to
This one is
leak
public.
it.
Yeah, you didn't have to leak this song. Abbie leaked my last song. I didn't tell anybody about it except for her.
But other people deserve to feel, or not deserve, but like a lot of people can be touched by your music.
Thank you. I think this one's good. I mean, like, not to say my first song was bad, but like that one was more for you. And then this one obviously was for our son, but I feel more comfortable with other people listening to it. I think other people can hopefully connect to the song and feel some of the same things that I was feeling as I wrote those lyrics. But, I think this song is good and I like it, and I was so excited to show you. So I'm glad that you like it.
I love it, and we've been listening to it a lot, especially like in the middle of the night when things are like crazy with a newborn that doesn't know his days and his nights.
Yeah,
it's been really like uplifting and kind of like reminds us of like, honey, I got what you want. Give me all your love. What, I don't know, like how precious these moments are, even though sometimes they can feel really like, oh my gosh, I just wish that we'd be past this stage, you know. But
so we get to the hospital.
Wait, no. So you played the song for me, and then we just it just, the morning went so fast.
Okay.
Like, we just said goodbye to our son. We put him down for his last nap, and then packed up the car and left. And we're headed to the hospital, and it was very surreal. Like anytime you're going to the hospital just to have a baby. And we get there, and basically we just got admitted. They asked us a bunch of questions. It's very calm because I'm obviously not having like intense contractions. I was having contractions since honestly for like over 3 weeks before we had him, which usually with a scheduled C-section, I think you always have them at like 39 weeks. I was 39 weeks in like 2 days. So I was having contractions, but they weren't like active labor contractions, weren't painful. And they weren't like progressing into labor anytime soon, probably. We go, answer all the questions, and then we're back in our labor and delivery suite, which I didn't think they would put me in a labor and delivery room since I wasn't laboring.
We were barely back there, though.
Yeah, I go back. They have me wipe my belly, sanitize it, which I think is just extra because I'm sure they sanitize it in that operating room a million times. Rub my belly, like sanitize it. It was kind of like emotional too, saying goodbye to the belly, like the last time.
Yeah.
And
are you getting emotional?
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm a hormonal mess.
It's okay.
But if anyone else is like, you understand. Like, after you have a baby, even if you don't necessarily love being pregnant, like I don't love being pregnant. There's something about it where you're just like, I cannot believe like you were inside me and now you're out, and it just like makes me sad in a way, even though I like love him being out here and like getting to hold him and snuggle him.
Yeah.
It's the most confusing thing because I wouldn't say that I like being pregnant, but then this happened with Griffin. Like the last time I was pregnant, I was just like, afterwards, I was like, I want him back in my belly. I don't understand why my hormones do that to us. I guess that's why we keep having babies, right?
Yeah.
Because you just like...
The hormones are crazy.
They are so crazy. So anyway, sanitize the belly, change into the gown and the little socks, the gripper socks, and give us our hairnets, and then we wait back there for a little bit because I think they like make sure you're stable. Like, because they had a reading, they could see my like contractions, they could see that the baby was stable. They were doing fetal heart monitoring, and then I mean I was probably back there with you for 45 minutes.
Yeah, probably 45 minutes.
And then 15 minutes before we get back, Matt's getting in his scrubs, and the vibes were so calm. Like, I feel like it wasn't...
Well, you weren't in labor. Like, before, with the first birth, you were in labor. It was very painful for you, and I was worried about you being in the most pain you've ever experienced in your whole entire life. And so this was just really chill. It was oddly chill.
It was really, really comfortable. Matt scrubbed up. You looked really cute in your scrubs. I pictured them being blue, but they were green. So it was a different...
What's up with that?
I don't know. You had a blue hairnet.
You know what it is? They wanted us to look different than the actual staff. Because if I wore blue scrubs, then I would look like I worked at the hospital. That has to be what it is. Right?
That's probably it.
Yeah.
I don't know. And so then, you know what's weird?
What?
Why did they wheel me back for surgery? Because I wasn't numb or I hadn't had anything at that point.
Great question. Well, you did have an IV in your arm.
I know, but I could walk with that.
Weird. Yeah, I don't know.
But basically, they had me get in the bed and they wheeled me to the OR.
Yeah, you had your IV,
I was still feeling so calm. Like, there was never any time where I was, like, super nervous.
Yeah. It was weird that you couldn't...
I was so excited.
Obviously, you couldn't eat or drink anything leading up to the surgery, but it was weird that they did tell you the one exception was having a little bit of apple juice and some... Was it Tylenol that you took?
Tylenol and apple juice.
Because it apparently helps the pain after the C-section.
Nothing tasted better than that apple juice after I was so thirsty through the night.
After fasting?
Yes. And so I had like 16 ounces of apple juice and Tylenol. And then they wheel us back. And then you had to leave for like... So if you do have a scheduled C-section, just be prepared to not have your... It could be scared. Like if you're... Mm-hmm. If you're not expecting to have your support person leave you, that could be something that you might just want to prepare for. Because also, I'm pretty sure, sometimes they don't even let your partner in until you're already open. Which is, I don't know how to say that in a way that's not...
you weren't open yet. When I came back into the room, they hadn't even started on you.
Yeah. So, basically, Matt left me for maybe 10 minutes. Like, it wasn't long. And at that time, they gave me a shot to numb, like, I think it was just lidocaine.
Yeah.
The site of the spinal blocker, which is what they gave me for, like, to numb me during the procedure. And the anesthesiologist was so nice, so calm. Yeah. He was very, very kind.
Yeah, he was a super nice guy.
Yeah. And then
Weren't you just, like, laying there, like, naked, though? Like on a table, just like
chilling?
Well,
I'm going to get to it.
Oh,
do you even know what happened when you were gone?
Not really.
So they had me like sit up and like I leaned forward and they numbed the site, which that was probably the most uncomfortable part of the whole surgery.
Yeah.
Was numbing it before the spinal blocker.
Okay.
Which I did feel the spinal blocker go in, but it's more of just like a pressure and not a pain.
Yeah.
And it all happened so fast. So it's like, it really wasn't that painful when you consider, like, it lasted, 60 seconds max.
Mm-hmm.
They numbed me. And then, there's a bunch of people in the room at this time. And
How many?
I am
5,
new.
10?
Probably somewhere in between that, like 8 people.
Wow.
And so then they numb you and then they slowly lay you back. I'm saying you, but they slowly laid me back. And, the odd thing is like I could tell when they were like removing my gown and stuff, but I couldn't.
Wait, you knew, but you couldn't feel it?
It's so hard to explain. Knew I was naked.
Could you feel like air hitting your face as your clothes came off? Like, how did you know?
No, I think that I could still feel touch. It was more of like I don't really know how to explain it.
Oh, you know what it is? So it's like when your face is numb at the dentist. Like you can still feel like yourself touching your face, but it's still numb.
Okay,
so maybe it's other places in your body that are feeling the vibrations from that area.
Yeah.
But because it's not like your face was numb, but down here you were numb.
So then they laid me back, and I am still incredibly calm. They asked me, like, what songs I wanted to play, and they were playing music. I told them I wanted to listen to Johnny Swim, but I think there was a miscommunication. They started playing John Mayer, which is totally fine, because that's the vibes I wanted, was just chill, like, relaxing, sweet, and it really made a big difference. It kind of set the atmosphere is, like, so calm, and they basically, like...
Grammarly Business's Secure AI helps you do more with confidence, thanks to insightful prompts and suggestions that unlock quality communication. And because Grammarly can adjust to match...
Come in and they're like... Well, then they put the catheter in. So I knew my legs were like splayed open and they were I could feel the catheter going in.
Did you feel uncomfortable at all that like everybody was just like moving so quickly around you and you didn't really know what was going on?
I mean... A little bit, I guess, but it wasn't like anything. It wasn't that big. I felt like everyone else was so in control that I was like, I don't even need to know what's going on. Yeah. Like it was a well-oiled machine in there.
They knew what they were doing.
They knew exactly what they were doing, and I feel really comfortable with my doctor. This is the second baby she's delivered of ours, and like I just felt I was in good hands. And so then they brought you in. I don't think they really did anything else. And I was kind of like laying there by myself for a while. Oh, they do like lay your arms out. And then they put because I could still kind of move my arms, I think. And then they put the curtain just above my neck. So then I couldn't see anything. I was still like, the curtain wasn't up when they did the catheter or anything. So like I could still see stuff. The curtain goes up. And then I'm pretty sure you came in. Was the curtain up when you came in?
It was.
But you could see everything.
Yeah, I could.
Were my, like, legs out and everything? Like, my vagina totally out?
I mean,
are we allowed to say vagina on this podcast?
I don't even know.
So sorry to interrupt. I have a very specific ask for you. And if you have someone in your life, maybe a new mom or just new parents in general, someone that is pregnant, send this podcast to them.
Send this podcast to somebody that needs to have a friend to help them through a hard time. We want to be your buddy. So,
yeah.
And
we feel really thankful for this community. So, let's just let it grow.
Yeah.
And, thanks.
Thank you guys.
Let's get back to the episode.
I mean, they had some sort of like film, some sort of like plasticky looking thing on your body. It's almost like they had like, you know how with paint by numbers, they have different sections like labeled so that you know like where to go. It's almost like they had like labeled your abdomen or like labeled you. So it's like, this is where we're going to do the incision. Yeah. Cause I think they had like markings with a marker on you and stuff. I'm pretty sure. So I get in there.
They just marked on me.
And it looked like they had some sort of device or tube or something like literally like right into your abdomen. Like you were opened up.
No, because I haven't gotten even to the part where they opened me up because I did want to tell people I could feel them opening me up.
Oh yeah, tell me about that.
Did they use scissors?
I don't know. I wasn't watching.
I was just almost positive it was scissors.
I was a little nervous, so I was just trying to focus.
Oh,
but
you were nervous?
Yeah, but I was just focused on you, and I was trying to like keep you calm and play with your hair and just like.
Wait, why is that gonna make me cry? Because I actually wasn't really nervous.
Oh, you were nervous?
You were nervous for me.
Yeah. I was nervous for you.
Wait, describe how you were feeling. Like when you went back by yourself, like what'd you do?
I was nervous for you. Like I didn't want you to be scared. I didn't want you. I don't know why I always have this irrational fear, but I had this like weird fear that what if Abbie could feel everything? Like that really, really scared me. I knew that was like irrational, but it was still a fear. So I was like, I really hope that they got some sort of system in place in case the numbing didn't work. I don't know. Like I was really worried about you being comfortable and not being in pain.
You know, the weird thing was
all that.
Wasn't thinking about that.
You're kidding. Because I was.
Really? Well,
I was, yeah.
It. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I guess I can kind of separate my mind from, like, my circumstances sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think that happened. I dissociated. I don't know if that's the right word. I think I just misused that. But basically, like, I felt really calm. Like, I don't know how to... Maybe they gave me, like, medicine to make me feel calm or something.
Yeah.
But, so they started the procedure, and I will say, not to freak anyone out, I did feel them, it's like they say, you, like, feel things, but it's not painful, and it's such a weird, I was honestly kind of looking forward to this in a way, to just know just to know what the feeling is like.
You were looking forward to it?
Just to know. Like, I was like, well, I wouldn't opt to do this, obviously, but, like,
yeah,
just to know if you're like, okay, this is gonna happen, I'm kind of curious, like, what this is gonna feel like. And it is such a weird thing because you're like there in my insides and pulling things out and moving things around and cutting things and snipping and pushing and... Wait, did you see my organs outside my body?
You know what? I really didn't notice.
Okay.
It looked like they had like taken your belly and like flapped it down. Almost like they'd like see like my lips. It's almost like they did like pulled your lips down. You know, you see my dude tattoo on my bottom lip? Yeah, it's almost like they did that with your belly.
Do you guys want to know the craziest thing?
What?
In the light, there's obviously so many lights in the operating room. That's the other thing. It was so bright in there, which makes sense. Obviously, they need to see what they're doing. In the light of the reflection, I could see what was happening. And obviously, it wasn't extremely clear, and it was very tiny. But it did look like Grey's Anatomy, but it was actually my body. And it was it's one of those things where I was like, I probably shouldn't look at this, but it wasn't freaking me out. And so I couldn't honestly look away at times. Basically, 15 minutes after I was open, max 15 minutes.
It felt like I walked in and they pulled out the baby right there.
He was out so fast. They told me, they were like, you're going to feel a little pressure. And then they like kind of pushed on my belly, and then it wasn't anything crazy. And then all of a sudden, screaming like a banshee, here is August Jacob.
It felt like we cheated birth.
It was crazy.
After going through such a scary, traumatic, it was almost like it was bloody too. Like there was blood everywhere with the first birth. I was not expecting that. So with this one, it felt like we cheated because we just like walked into the hospital, walked into this room, boom, you're open and here's our kid. It was just like so quick. I was like, there's no way this is happening right now.
It was really a beautiful experience. Like, happened so fast. It was so calm. He was just screaming, and we knew he was good.
Yeah.
And
he was big.
He came out. Did he seem big?
Yes. I mean, they're holding him up, and he's just like, he's covered in all the goop. And I mean, he looks so cute now, but every time with birth still, like when babies come out right away, bro, they look like little aliens.
They kind of are.
They don't look, they look extraterrestrial. They're not.
Well, they're kind of purple and covered in gunk. But they didn't show me him. I thought they were going to put him over the curtain and show me him.
Wait, yeah. Why didn't they do that?
I don't know, but it's okay. I heard his cry, and that was really sweet.
Wait, I just realized that. Now I'm sad for you. You never saw your baby.
I thought they were going to lower the curtain, and I got to see him.
I thought they would come around and show your baby. They didn't come around and show your baby right away.
No, they took him, but you went with him.
Wait, yeah. Now I'm bummed for you because I got to see all that, but you didn't get to see the baby. Because in videos I've seen of birth, that's what they do is they take the baby around. Were you sad that you didn't get to see him?
I don't know how to tell you this. I don't remember how I felt in this moment.
It all happened so fast.
It felt like it was happening to somebody else.
Yeah.
And so that's why, when you're like, were you scared? I'm like, I don't know. Were you happy? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I felt.
Yeah.
But then I heard his cry, and then it was starting to awaken me. I was like, oh my gosh, that's my baby. That's my son.
Yeah.
And they took him, and then everyone was like, wow, he's so healthy. He's a big guy. And August Jacob was born at 12:52 on August 10th. He was, what was he? 8 pounds, 14 ounces,
21 inches long. And he was mad. He was not. He was
so angry.
He was so angry. He did not want to be out of the womb.
He was so snuggly. I think it was jarring for him. I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Because it happened so fast.
Can you imagine just being taken out of your home so quickly?
Bright.
So bright.
So
You're
cold.
just chilling in there.
So they go and they were really quick about this, doing whatever they needed to do. And then.
Well, I can tell you what they did.
Well, yeah, tell me what they did.
They went ahead and weighed him. They measured him. They put this stuff on his eyes to I don't know if it was cleaning his eyes or just to make sure that they didn't get infected. I don't know what it was, but they put all this goop on his eyeballs or right between the little eyelids. Yeah. And they clean him up a little bit. They kind of I think they wiped him down.
They leave some of that stuff. It's called vernix. It's good for their skin.
Yes, vernix. And then I got to cut the cord.
Aww.
So they had all of that there for me, and I cut the cord.
Wait, did you see the placenta?
I didn't.
I forgot to say that. I donated my placenta.
Wait, I'm very proud of you for doing that, by the way. Thank you for donating your placenta.
It's for, they kind of gave you a rundown of, what it's for, but a lot of it goes to burn victims and helping them, with skin grafts and, regrowing their skin. So they came in before my surgery, and I wasn't prepared to be asked this, but I'm glad they asked me. They're like, do you feel comfortable, donating your placenta? And I was like, sure. Basically, if you want to do it, I think they use some of it for research, too. But mostly it's for burn victims, is what they were explaining. But basically, they ask you, a lot of questions. 40 questions. Some of them are very personal.
Very, very personal. There was 10 questions about sex in there. I'm like, wow, why is this necessary for a placenta donation?
I'm sure they need to make sure, if they're going to use it on other people that...
I guess STDs are a thing.
They know what makes a difference, I guess. Yeah. And so then they asked questions, and then they did a blood draw, and then that's all they had to do.
Never even saw your placenta. That thing was whisked away.
So they cut it, but then you get to just cut the cord a little closer.
That's a good point because the cord is obviously attached to the placenta. You know what? I think they had cut the cord, but not
They let you cut it closer.
They let me cut it closer, so they could have done it for me.
Did you cut it straight from the placenta?
I can't remember. I don't know.
I feel like they make a big deal about this stuff, but...
No, I think it's more of a ceremonial thing for a dad. They already do the cutting. Because I'm pretty sure with both births, I don't think that the cord was attached to the placenta at that point. I think they just had a solid foot-long cord for me to work with. Just to make me feel good about myself.
That's funny. So was that cool?
It was cool. I mean, it's weird. I'm like, are we sure this doesn't hurt them? Because it's the cord is so... It looks like it's flesh, It's
But it's not because it dies immediately.
I know, but it's connected to an organ, or it was inside your body, so it feels weird, cutting that.
That is weird because it's not a part of me and it's not a part of him.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it technically is a part of both of us for only the shared time that we're together inside my body.
They asked us if we wanted to frame the placenta or turn it into pills.
No, they said that the woman they asked before me was going to take it home to paint with her placenta.
To paint with the placenta. And you know what? Look, to each their own. I get it. But at the same time, this is an organ. Like,
don't make me laugh.
You can't. Sorry, I know. Making you laugh, that does hurt your incision.
It's also not just like, I mean, it does provide nutrients for the baby, but also it's kind of like a liver. Like it filters out.
No, it's an organ. So you don't really catch people like taking other organs out of their body and like painting with them. But I guess this is one
thing. It nourished your baby in your womb. I can see that, but also it's not for me. That's all I'm just gonna say about that. It's just not for me. Like you can use it for science.
Making it into pills would be cool, but I'm glad that you donated it though, because it's like we can buy pills at the grocery store. But these burn victims who need skin grafts, like. It's cool that you were able to donate that. So I'm proud of you. And I know that you don't get I know that you hate getting your blood drawn.
I don't hate it, but it's like, yeah, let's.
I'm glad that you were.
Wait, you're acting like I hate it and I'm like terrified of it.
Okay. Well, I don't know. There's been times where you were afraid of it. Like when we donated plasma in college.
That was the only reason I didn't like that is because I almost passed out.
That's true.
Something weird was happening with my blood there. Yeah. I think they did something wrong. They like used like a too big of a, like they used like a straw to take my blood out. Remember that?
Yeah, when you do plasma donation, they use a really thick needle.
And I think I was like blacking out a little bit.
Yeah.
Anywho, so Matt's with the baby. They get him all prepared, and then did you carry him over?
I brought him over to you.
Yes, so that's what I thought.
We had him all swaddled up.
This is kind of fun to recap together.
Yeah, got him all cozy in his swaddle. Put a little hat on him. Got some pictures. We just kind of hung out while they stitched you up. That took a while.
No, because you brought him to me right away.
I brought him to you. And I just left him.
And then our heads were together.
Yeah.
While I was getting closed up, which that took a long time.
Yeah.
I would say the rest of the surgery was probably like 40 minutes, don't you think?
Yeah.
That I was like, okay, can we wrap this up? But I also wanted them to do a good job. Mm-hmm. So his head was on mine, and he calmed down, and it was just so beautiful. Like getting to see him. Obviously, I wish I could have, held him right away, like you can in normal vaginal delivery, but I got to hold him so soon.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're finishing up the surgery. I can feel things moving around. Nothing was painful. Something I did not expect with my C-section was the shoulder pain, which I think, didn't we read something before when we were like preparing for a C-section that like you could have your shoulders hurt? Mm-hmm. I feel like we read that on a Pinterest thing, and I was like, okay, whatever, that's weird, probably not gonna happen to me. No. My left shoulder was in, of course, like, this is the last thing you'd expect. You're cut open.
So random.
They've separated your abdomen, like.
Yeah.
My shoulder is hurting. I don't know how to explain it. I thought something was on my shoulder. I actually told the anesthesiologist, I was like, something is pulling on my shoulder. He's like, no, it's trapped gas.
Weird. How does gas travel up from the incision wound into your shoulder? But it did.
It did, and it hurt.
And you weren't, I wish you would have been more vocal with me about that, because I didn't know that you were in all this pain. Like, I didn't realize it was that bad.
Well, I was only thinking about the baby, but then every once in a while I was like, oh my gosh, my shoulder really hurts.
Yeah.
It really hurts. But I was also like, what are they going to do about it if I keep talking about it? So that was something I did not expect. And not everyone feels that, but I did. I got some serious shoulder pain. So then my doctor's like talking to me as this whole procedure is going on.
Yes. And what was weird to me, Abbie, is they were just having casual conversation while they were cutting you open, stitching you back up, doing all of that. They were talking about trucks, and I
wasn't talking. I was just like quiet.
I almost feel like people were like, hey, what do you want to do for lunch after this? Yeah, we can go get some Chipotle. Cool. Like it was just like so casual for them, which was weird, but it also made it more calming, because I was like, they're just chilling. Like they've done this a million times. They're just casually talking about trucks. Yeah. While they stitch you up, Yeah. So that was good.
Wait, so they were doing stitches then?
Yes. I think at the point that I heard the nurses and doctor talking about trucks was when you were being stitched up.
So I think they stitch up what they can, but they don't stitch up everything that they separate in there. Mm-hmm. And then at the incision site, they actually put staples in mine, which most doctors apparently don't do anymore.
Yeah.
But my doctor put staples in.
For a cosmetic reason, right? She was wanting to make the skin...
That's what she said. She thinks it, like, lays flatter.
Lays flatter, okay.
We'll see. So there's probably, like, 10 staples in it.
Yeah.
And basically then they're like, great, the baby came out. They said that he had broad shoulders, so... Mm-hmm. And he hadn't descended at all into my pelvis at the time of the surgery, even though my body was trying to probably get him there because of contractions. So my doctor felt pretty confident that we would have probably ended up in the OR at some point anyway. which I know that there's so many, oh my gosh, I know there's so many opinions on birth. So I'm like hesitant because I know that the minute I talk about it, then it gives people the right to share their opinion on it.
Like, disclaimer, this is just our story. This is just our experience. And so if something we say offends you, like, please just know that we're just sharing our side of things. And I'm sure there's so many other experiences that you could hear, or maybe your experience was very different from ours, but this is just our experience. Maybe you don't
agree with our decision.
Yeah.
Like,
but at the same time, the doctor did say after our son came out that it most likely would have been an emergency C-section because he had such broad shoulders, he would have not fit through the birth canal. And on top of that, he hadn't descended at all.
And he was really high up.
And I don't think people realize, like, if you have one shoulder dystocia, you're most likely going to have another one.
Well, that's what people disagree on. So it's like,
I guess. Oh, that's the hot topic.
There's so many fields of thought on it, and I know that the minute that I bring it up, it gives people the right to, like.
But I thought the facts show that you are more likely to have one if you have
people
one.
disagree on it.
Oh,
so,
okay. Sorry if that offended someone.
No, and also this isn't medical advice. This is completely the opposite of medical advice. We're not even close to doctors.
We're
just people that had a baby.
And this podcast is being recorded in our home. And after this, we're going to have to go...
And after this, I'm going to have to go pump.
We're going to have to go pump and feed our child breast milk. So...
Anyway,
yeah.
So...
Dude, can I just say this?
What?
I was cracking up after the surgery with how, like, silly you were acting because you were on some serious drugs.
I was being silly?
Yeah, like, you were like, I haven't felt this good in weeks.
Oh.
After the surgery, like, you'd just been cut open.
No, you're skipping a part. Because we went back to our labor and delivery suite, and I was so close to blowing chunks. Like...
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I got back in the room and I was feeling great, and then all of a sudden I was like, I am not great. Like I thought I was on cloud 9, and then all of a sudden I was like, I'm going to throw up and it's gonna hurt really bad because I just got major surgery on my abdomen. My blood pressure apparently like dropped, and then I was feeling so nauseous, which I know is really common. They give you anti-nausea medicine, but still.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. Earn 2% cash back on what you want, like a brand new bike. And 2% cash back on what you need.
I think you missed a spot.
Like sunscreen. The Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. That's real life ready.
Go to Old Navy and you'll save a toboggan full of buckaroonies. It's a real bada bing, bada boom situation.
Right now, get last minute gifts from just $2 only at Old Navy.
Look, this deal is a steal. And so is the toboggan. I know because I stole it.
Something about it just I think it's anesthesia.
Why
did they give extremely nauseous.
Why did they give you alcohol? They gave you these little like
tiny alcohol. So to not throw up, they kind of like laid me back, and like they were like offering. I could have held my baby right away after like we got back in there, but I really couldn't because it wouldn't have been safe because I was so close to vomiting. So they gave me alcohol to sniff and like laid me back and just kind of like had me take deep breaths. I was fighting it so hard, Matt. Like, you know, I fight vomit.
I didn't realize that was happening because I was so distracted by our new child.
Yeah.
And so...
I was trying not to talk because I was like, I cannot. All I could do is focus on not throwing up. So, I don't know how long I felt like that. I'd probably say somewhere between 5 to 7 minutes. Like
They injected you with some anti-nausea medicine, right?
Did they?
I'm pretty sure they did. I think they put it into your IV.
I think they just gave me more fluids.
Really? Okay.
Something like, maybe they did. They did something and I felt better. So then that was good. And then why do I not remember? Is that when I held Augie for the first time in that labor and delivery suite?
I think it is. I don't think we waited until we moved to postpartum.
It happened so fast, you guys. It sounds bad that I don't even remember the first time I held my son, but like everything was happening so fast.
Yeah.
So they got me. They have a well-oiled machine. Like I said, they got us out of the labor and delivery suite. We were in postpartum. And I was so excited to be there because then that meant that we could see family. Yeah. And my mom was there, and my mom was like, I literally cannot even believe how fast that baby came out. She's like, I couldn't even make it to the hospital in time. Like, because even though it was scheduled, like, they were just going so fast. And I think that was, like, the most surreal thing is that the last time I saw my mom was, like, maybe 3 hours ago, and now we were holding our son, and she was getting to meet her grandson.
And I think in that moment we were like, wow, this is easy. Everything's going so great. Nothing possibly could go wrong. Like,
it was
this
feeling
is the best.
Like we had accessed the cheat codes to childbirth.
The ultimate cheat code is what it felt like.
so sorry to interrupt this podcast, but I know that Matt's not going to do it, so I'm going to do it for him because I am his biggest fan. But if you would not mind, which I know you wouldn't, please check out his song. It is so...
Do you know what the name of the song is? It's actually called Falling in Love.
I was going to say, I think I'm falling in love.
Aw, yeah. That's the line.
So it's Falling in Love?
Falling in Love.
Well, that's humiliating that I didn't know the actual title of it. I thought it was I Think I'm Falling in Love.
No.
It's Falling in Love, and it is the most just sweet, heartwarming song.
Thank
you.
I
think that a lot of people could relate to it and just enjoy it. It's so easy to listen to, and it's been stuck in my head all the time, but like in a good way. It's not like it's a great song to have stuck in your head. So
Thanks.
Definitely check it out. I think we'll put a link here.
I think people can follow me on Spotify. I think that's a thing.
Follow him on Spotify.
Our last name's Howard, by the way. If you didn't know that, we're Matt and Abbie Howard. So my name on Spotify is Matt Howard.
Matt Howard. Check it out. There's going to be a link here, but then also if you just search it on Spotify, you can search Matt Howard or search Falling in Love. You'll find it. It's so good.
Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course.
The first day, I think, was just incredible. We were over the moon. You were getting pumped with oxytocin. We were so happy, so in love. Parents came to see our baby. My brother and sister-in-law came. At one point, it was funny. We had literally, 11 people inside our teeny tiny room because our hospital was like full. It was at like capacity, and they were literally having some people that had just given birth in the pediatric unit because there were no rooms left.
So many babies being born. We packed out our room, and then the night came, and that's when fatigue started to hit in, and then the first like little bits of pain for me were like kind of coming in, and then I'm pretty sure that was when the major issue of like me not being able to pee came. We're just gonna share the raw experience, by the way. So.
Yeah, I think we want to just share the good and the bad,
the good and the bad. So the great has happened, the baby's here. Then the bad starts to happen, where pain, like I said, difficulty urinating because the catheter came out and things were still numb, and it was hard for me to pee.
I don't even think, from what I experienced from you, honey, though, I think, like, you're a really tough person physically. Like, you could be cut open and not be able to pee and have all these physically difficult things happen to you. But I think where you get really hurt is, like, the emotional side. Yes. And so I don't think any of that physical stuff had anything on you. And by the way, you've already experienced hernia repair surgery. You had a double hernia repair last year at this time, and you've already said that was more painful from your experience than C-section.
Yes.
So I don't think what it was for you, I don't think it all was a physical thing. I think it was an emotional thing, and I think that really,
1000%.
and I think what that came down to was breastfeeding.
Largely, but
right?
I will tell you, it was bound to happen anyway, because there is a massive hormonal shift that happens.
Yeah.
From being a person with another person in your body to being a person without another person in your body. It hits me specifically like a train.
Yeah.
And it did with our first, and I was like, man, I'm doing so great. I feel so good. And then all of a sudden, bam, emotions hit. I'm no longer pregnant. The realization is somehow shocking and earth-shattering. It feels like, emotionally to me, like my world is ending.
Yeah.
When I have a baby.
And sorry, I feel like what I just said there almost seemed a little bit ignorant because I was relating it all to breastfeeding. But I think, you're right. You have a very big emotional shift, and most women do.
Usually breastfeeding is like the trigger for it.
Well, for you, I think it was. I think for you, from your experience, that was something that really tripped off your emotional side. And I think a large part of that is because you put a lot of self-worth in breastfeeding, and you feel...
Not meaning to.
Really? Okay.
It's just, like, because I do believe, like, any way you feed a baby is fine. There's just something about, like... There's just something about being a brand new mom again, and hearing your baby cry and knowing that your baby might be hungry and that you can, like, you're the source of nutrition, and it's not clicking, and it causes panic.
How did that make you feel, like, when Augie was crying and needed a diaper change?
I can't even talk about it right now.
And, he's very needy, right? And so I'm getting up, helping him in the night, changing his diapers. How did that make you feel that you couldn't physically like really get out of bed.
I mean, I still feel that right now. Like, with me not being able to be as hands-on with him, and especially with our oldest, it is so sad. Like, because my instincts and my like nature just wants to, you know, do it all and make everyone okay and take care of everyone. And I am sitting here needing to be taken care of a lot. It's the feeling, there's no other word I have for it other than if I feel pathetic, which I know that I have to heal, and that's part of it, is taking it slow and like asking for help. And it's just you feel so small because you just want to be everything, and you can't, and you know